up, BitchBopz? We are so excited. Today we have Elaina with us.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Elaina. I'm 24. I actually grew up in South Haven, but I do go to the University of Memphis. And yeah, I'm just working on some music, and I released an album on November 15th, and that's why I'm here to talk to you.
Yay! I'm so excited.
I'm
so
excited.
This is your first album release?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So talk to me about the recording process. You're at Uproar?
Yes, I'm at Uproar with Ryan and Esmod, and I've been doing this for about a year now. I've been recording. I wasn't really positive if I was actually going to release, and then a few of my friends made some comments being like, are you actually going to do it? And they were like, no, you're not, no, you're not. And of course that made me be like, okay, now I have to do this. So I just picked a random day, and I actually have my last recording session today. And it's like a 5-hour session where we're just gonna be tweaking songs and stuff like that, just because I'm a perfectionist and it has to be perfect before I release and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of my recording process has been me going in there and being like, actually, let's start over. So it's been a long process, and I really appreciate Esmod and Ryan working with me because I'm very nitpicky. So
yeah, shout out to the boys.
Shout out to the boys for real.
But also, I love that you're so hands-on in your music, especially starting out. You know, it can be hard navigating that, or like knowing when to use your voice.
Absolutely. Actually, like the first few times I was in the recording studio was last year, and they were like, oh, this is your first time? I was like, yeah, but I'm very much like nitpicky, so I'm like, run it back, and I love constructive criticism, so I take it very well. I'm very much like, please tell me what I need to work on, because I want it to be perfect, and I want to create something that not only I like and I approve of, but other people that I respect their creative opinion. Yeah.
That is one thing I like about Ariana Grande, is that she is so hands-on when it comes to the production and like layering her vocal tracks and telling them like exactly what she wants with the harmonies and things like that. Like that's so important as an artist to have that control.
I agree, and I really like how much they listen to me, and they really respect my opinion, and like if I go in there and I'm like, actually turn that down, let's redo this, let's throw this in the back, like they're very much like, let's get it done. Like they throw in their own opinions, and I really appreciate it, but they also just like really let me have like creative like work, put my work into it, and I really appreciate that. So
where do you get that confidence from?
Oh, that's a good question. So honestly, I think since I was little, the main compliment I feel like I've ever gotten has been on me singing, and I think I haven't gotten words of affirmation as my love language. So if you tell me something enough, like I'm gonna believe you. So since I remember my kindergarten teacher taking me room to room and being like, listen to her sing. My 3rd grade teacher did that. Up until college, I had a full ride scholarship to school, like my freshman year of college, like singing. So like I had a coach come up to me and be like, I'll work with you for free. Like I feel like the universe has like consistently shown me like this is where the direction you need to go in, and it's given me, because for years I wasn't super confident about it. Like my family's not musically inclined at all. They have never like pushed me in that direction. They've been just like, go to college, you know, get a good like education. So like I've never really had like that kind of support, but I feel like I've always had other people in my ear being like, this is like the direction you need to go in. And I remember saying one day, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, and then that same day I got a text from my coach being like, we need to start working on an album.
Wow.
And so, that confidence really just comes from like the universe being consistently like, this is the direction you need to go in. This is what you need to do. And I'm listening. I'm gonna listen.
That's great. Yeah. That's like the number one thing to do, is being able to discern what is meant for you and what isn't, and being open to that, you know?
That's my purpose.
Yeah, but 100%. A lot of people would, you know, be scared to put themselves out there or be like, who am I?
It is scary. And I feel like I do have a lot of those moments where I'm like, is this really what I want to do? Especially when things get hard, it's like, okay, I want to give up. Never mind, I don't want to do this anymore. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, but we've gotten this far. How much further can we go? Even if it is like a failure or a rejection, you're not trying if you're not failing. So, yeah.
I watched the Megan Thee Stallion documentary that came out on Friday, and it was just really interesting because she's obviously been through a lot in her career, and from an outside perspective, you see her and you're like, wow, she's so successful and talented. But then she even has days where she's like, I feel like everybody hates me, I don't want to leave my house. And just to see that arc from her being at her lowest to now, like having that Hot Girl Summer tour and all of that, like she stayed consistent. She knew her goal and her vision for herself, and she was able to overcome that. But That was
Absolutely.
inspiring for me because I feel like there's so many times when you're like at that bottom and you're like, what am I doing this for?
Yes.
Like, is this something that I even care about anymore?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And then we live in this comparison culture where you do see people like Megan Thee Stallion, you don't understand that like what she's going through behind closed doors, and you're just like, hot girl summer, like she is like the definition of confidence. And then you see behind closed doors, even like the most confident and beautiful and talented people are also struggling and dealing with the same things you are, and that really does give like a lot of perspective.
Yeah.
So
because at the end of the day, I mean, we're all human beings. And
yes,
we're all just trying like everybody else.
We're all trying our best. Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me about your songwriting process. Like, how did you find your sound? Because you sound very different than how I would expect.
Everybody says that. A lot of my music actually for this album is going to be kind of all over the place. So I have like pop, I have country, I have R&B, I have jazz, I have like soul, I have a little bit of everything. So this is my trial run, real like honestly, because I think I've talked to a lot of people and they really want me to go in a country direction. That's just not the music I've ever wanted to make, but like my voice really does suit it. I'm a little southern, you know. Yeah. I got a little twang to me, but a lot of my songwriting process is just like it's an outlet. I sit down and whenever I'm like going through something or somebody has told me something that has like upset me, like whether it's like something they're going through or something I'm going through, it's an outlet, and I've like really found a place to put a lot of my feelings and stuff like that. So it really is just like you're listening to my diary entries and take it how you will and how it relates to your life, but that is, you're just listening to me sing my diary. So like for real, that is literally what it is. Sometimes I write a song, I don't even know what I'm saying until I'm done writing it. And then I'm like, oh, is that what you meant? Is that how you feel? Because I didn't realize that at first. So.
That's so funny. I was just watching a SZA interview, and she talks about her songwriting process being the same way.
Really?
She'll get in the studio, and she won't know exactly how she's feeling or like what she's going to talk about on a song. And she just kind of lets her feelings speak through her. And then she was talking about Kill Bill and how it was kind of like a joke to her
A lot
producer.
of my songs start off as jokes.
She was like, what if I said this? And he was like, yeah, go off.
Do it.
And then that's how that song came.
That's funny. I have like 3 songs on my album that started off as jokes, and then my friends were like, I actually really like that. And I was like, are you serious? You like that? Okay. That's fine. Okay, that was a joke, but yeah, for sure we'll throw that in there. Yeah. But that is definitely my songwriting process. It's I like to time myself. That's like the biggest thing. I'll be like, how much can I put into a song in like an hour 30? So I always like try and time myself and see what comes out. And I feel like that's when I'm like my most authentic, is when I'm kind of like rushing, you know, because I am a perfectionist. So having like just a short amount of time to throw things together is sometimes been my best work. Like my 2 most favorite songs I probably wrote in like an hour. Now, did I throw some harmonies in there? Not yet, but yeah. I actually had, I used to write like on the piano, like back in the day. And then a friend from high school, he used to record. And when I moved back to Memphis, that was like one of the first things he did. We like were stuck in the house because of the snowstorm and stuff like that. It was like 3 years ago. And I just came over with like, am I allowed to smoke weed? Yeah. I'm like, okay. I just like came over with like an ounce, and I was like, let's just sit in the studio, because he did not want to sit in the studio, but I wanted to sit in the studio for like an hour or more than that. And he actually taught me a whole new songwriting process. He's like, I'm going to play a beat, you say some words, we're going to pause, come back to it. And that's been my writing process since. Wow. Yeah. I'm like actually trying to get back to my old writing process, because that's been my writing process for the past 3 years now. Is like, I'll listen to a beat, write a few lyrics, come back to it, write a few lyrics, come back to it, write a few lyrics, come back to it. Yeah. It's kind of nice having a challenge like that. Yes, too. I love challenges. Take you out of that like headspace. I just started learning guitar, and so my friends will like send me like writing prompts, because I'm like, give me a writing prompt. Like, I just want to sit here and like try and work on creating more music, because that's just like, it's my pastime, it's my outlet. I think it's a good use of my brain, and so I try and use it as much as possible. Yeah. You're very motivated to continue learning and teaching yourself, which I feel like is so important as an artist. Absolutely. Like, what inspires you to continue to learn instruments and things like that? I think it really is just like the perfectionist in me. I think for a long time, my perfectionism kind of held me back, because I was just like, oh, if it's not perfect, I'm just not going to do it. So like, if I'm not good at it at first, then I'm just going to stop. And I think now that I'm like a lot older and I realize how much potential I've had this entire time and how much like time I've wasted, I'm more inclined to be like, okay, well, let me learn this and learn this and learn this, because these are all things that I've had so much time to have done, and I didn't do it in the past, and I regret that. And now I'm just like, okay, let's get it done now. Like, now is the time, especially now that I'm about to graduate college. I'm about to have a whole bunch of free time that I haven't experienced in 4 or 5 years, so, or ever, really. And so it'll be very interesting to see what I do with my free time moving forward. And I just want to have a bunch of hobbies already set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of the whole career thing and degree and all this other
Besides
stuff.
all that.
How do you balance like your school life and your music life?
That's a good question. I think I really do struggle with that a lot. I actually have this conversation with my friends a lot because I feel like I look more like I have it all together than I feel like I do. And maybe I do. Maybe I do have it together more than I give myself credit for. Absolutely. Yeah. But I think it's just like having a schedule and being kind to myself. I think that's like the biggest thing, because I think the more you push yourself, the bigger like the burnout. And I think I don't allow myself to have burnout as much as I should. And no, I shouldn't. I should not allow myself to have any burnout. That's how I feel. That's literally how I feel. I'm like, burnout? No, can't do it. Don't have time. I literally don't have time. But I think it is just coming down to being like, what's more important to me? You know what I mean? Like, I still give myself time to, you know, take care of myself, my mental, my physical. Like, I'm still making sure like I'm working out and like doing self-care and stuff like that. I think those are very important to be able to maintain a busy schedule, because if I'm not, it's mind, body, spirit. If you're not taking care of mind, body, spirit, then you're not going to be able to take care of other things. Right. Like, because you have to have, you know, food in your stomach. You got to, you know, be active, you know, sit outside for 5 minutes a day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, those are all important things to be able to continue to be motivated. A lot of my friends are on their like worth journey and like their self-discovery journey, and I've been on that for like a little while too, so I feel like I'm surrounded by the right kind of people as well, and that's really important to me. Everything. Yeah, it's not even that they just support me, but they're also like supporting me in ways that are like spiritual and stuff like that, where they're like, okay, well, let's pray over the situation, let's talk about, you know, better outlets that we can, you know, deal with these things and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm just surrounded by love and light, and I think that's like a really big help to be able to balance as much as I've got going on. Yeah, especially in your 20s, like mid 20s, like this. Yeah, having the right people around you is so important. But also, I feel like we live in a culture where young people are expected to like have their shit together immediately, or like be successful at 25 is like a standard. And so you were talking about feeling behind, you know, with all these instruments and stuff, like, you know, you're 24. Yeah. And to me, I'm 29, and I'm like, wow, she's so successful. She's really... I would have never guessed that, so I keep going. Oh, really? Thank you. I was like, I thought I was older than you. But no, I mean, to see your drive, like, as an older person, like, you inspire me. You know what I mean? Thanks so much. And so, yeah, I think it's really important to know that at your age, that, like, doing anything in your 20s that means something to you is, like, a whole another level of success that I think a lot of people don't reach, you know? Absolutely. Yeah. If you're not trying, you know? Yeah. Trying is the first step. For real. So what artists inspire you? Oh, that's a good question. I was actually thinking about that on the way over here. You're like, I got it. I have it together. Amy Winehouse. I love her sound. That makes so much sense with your voice, dude. Yeah, Amy Winehouse. That's so funny. Amy Winehouse. I also love Miley Cyrus. I think, you know, like, she's like... I can hear that too. That's so funny. Amy Winehouse and Miley Cyrus. I also really love the range of Demi Lovato. I think I would love to be able to reach that kind of range if I had more like vocal coaching or something like that. I feel like I could definitely go in that direction. But Miley Cyrus and Amy Winehouse for sure. And then, like, the writing of, I love Queen, and I love, Queen is my favorite band, absolutely, 100%. Wow. I love their writing. I watched their movie, and it made me want to write, like, 4 or 5 songs. They really helped, like, my creative process. I really would love to write songs like Amy Winehouse. It hasn't worked out yet, but I'm working on it. I, like, think about it all the time, but definitely, like, I don't know who writes Miley songs or if she's, like, a part of that process, but I do love, like, you know, like that horse and carriage, you know what I'm talking about? Love You. That's such a good song. If I were to ever write a love song, it'd be like that. But, yeah, those are the people that inspire me. I really want to write a love song now that I'm thinking about it. I really want to. Man, I just can't. It hasn't worked out yet, but, yeah. Like,
the subject matter, or like what's not about?
I feel like, okay, I've written like one love song or two, and one was about myself and then one was about my best friend. So those were like love songs, but like a love song in the sense of like talking about love, I feel like I don't have like enough understanding of it to write about it. So yeah, I feel like all my songs are more about like the separation of love. A lot of my songs are more about that.
That sounds like an interesting song concept, though, of like not knowing how to write about love because you don't understand the concept.
Like, hold on, like adding that to my notes. That's a good concept. I like that.
Okay, what are 3 words you would use to describe your music?
Oh, like soul, authentic, genuine, because they all just come from a genuine and authentic place, and then it literally is my soul. Yeah.
I love that. All right, what are you most excited about for this album release?
Just to see what other people think. I think good or bad. I'm just very curious. I want to know how other people take it and put it into their own lives, because that's so important to me. I have a really good friend. We've been friends since we were 13, so she's like heard my music throughout years, and I've always loved sending her my songs because she relates it to like a completely different situation in her life, and I love to hear that because I hear my songs and I know exactly what I was going through in that moment, and I know exactly like why I wrote it. And so to me, that's all I hear. And I feel like it's so obvious to other people because I don't feel like I use very many metaphors. I feel like it's very like straightforward. But my friends will listen to it and they'll be like, oh my God, that reminds you so much of this or whatever. Or this was my favorite lyric because it mends like this part of my life. And that's the part I'm the most excited about. I want to hear people recite lyrics back to me and be like, this stuck out to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like, this meant this to me. That's so important.
I think that would be cool as an artist because you know what it means to you, and then to hear like, oh, well, this resonated with me, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Like, that's cool that people get to take away different things from what you have to say.
And like dissect it differently.
Yeah.
I have a friend, he's a videographer, and he makes like a lot of different short films that a lot of the time I can't even understand. But he says the same thing. He said his favorite thing about putting his short films out is listening to other people dissect it, because to him it means this, and to me I'm like trying to understand and like be like, okay, is this what this meant? And he's like, absolutely not, but if that's what it means to you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
That is cool because it's like once you put the art out, like the art is open to interpretation for other people to enjoy. Like it's a part of you, but it's also like not. It's for them now to interpret.
It's for them to separate from me and make their own, and I love that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I think it would also be really cool to like see other people like cover my songs and do it in a whole nother direction. I think that'd be really cool just to see how they interpret it. I think that'd be so cool.
So I saw you had some visuals and stuff like when you were recording, and it looks so good. Are you planning on some music videos? Or?
Yes. I have one music video already made. I have 2 in the works. I have 2 singles after this album that I have visuals for. Oh, no, I do have another music video. I have 2 music videos. That's right. And then I have a visual for each song because that's just important to me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's important to me. I feel like it's one thing to hear it and then other people, because everybody's a different kind of learner, some people are communicative learners, like this will be good for people that need to like hear us talk, and then other people need to see it, other people need to hear it, so yeah, visual learners are,
that's so cool.
There for them.
I'm a music video girl too.
Okay, well, I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
But yeah, Tyler talks about that, the creator. He said like, to understand my music fully, like it's the visuals, it's the writing, it's the performance,
really?
Like, all of that makes a part of like what I'm trying to convey with this music.
Which is like on the other spectrum with Beyonce being like, I didn't have to do any visuals because the music speaks for itself. So yeah, it's like 2 spectrums of it.
But I mean, she did Lemonade.
That's so true.
She invented lemonade.
And she did Lemonade. She did.
She did. Well, I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Are you planning on any shows or?
I have talked to a few people about a few shows. There's nothing solid yet, but I also just started. I feel like I've been so shy for years and like just not talking about it for so long that of course, like, people don't know about it. So I just gotta, get a few more toes in the door. Maybe I can get a foot in there. We'll definitely get some shows going. Because I've done shows in the past. I've sang on Bill Street. I've done a bunch of, like, covers and stuff like that. But, like, a show with my own music, that'd be really cool. I'm actually about to move to Austin in, like, the next few months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I just talked to a few band people out there, and they were like, yeah, 100% we'll play your music. And
yeah.
So,
I feel like your voice would be great live. Like,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, my favorite thing about getting in the studio is, like, I can hear my voice in my head, but to hear it in the headphones, like, I think I have just such a deeper and, like, love and appreciation for myself when I hear myself. It literally makes me fall in love with myself when I hear myself. Like, just to be, like, so, like, honest, yeah. Like, so I'll be like, I have a song that I wrote recently, and it's, like, it's too personal. I probably won't ever put it out there. But at the end of the song, it's me being like, oh, I love her. And he, like, kept that in there and threw that in the song. I thought it was so cute. Yeah.
But I think it would be so cool to see you and not knowing what you sound like, and then to hear that voice come out of this little tiny girl. Like, I feel like that would be so impressionable for people that had never heard your music.
When I have performed, that's definitely been the main comment I've heard. They're like, oh, that voice is that little body, okay? I'm like, yes, absolutely.
What have you been listening to recently? Any albums or artists?
I feel like a lot of what I've been listening to is my own album right now. But I'm like, what's on my Spotify right now? I was listening to Taylor Swift on the way over here. Old Taylor Swift because it's on my Apple Music. But Spotify, though, Spotify is my go-to. Tyler, the Creator, just pulled up. So, of course, his new album.
Yeah.
Like, it just asked me if I wanted to join your jam. I was just, Glorilla just dropped an album too. I've been listening to her. Yes. And like, I have Cash Doll. I have a lot of Cash Doll on here. Lil Wayne. I'm getting back into Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
I am listening to a lot of Drake. He'll probably be my number one this year. Guilty pleasure.
Dude,
I'll be
he's
honest.
always my number one. I feel like he might be my number two this year because it's been a hard year.
I'm curious, what would your number one be?
James Blake, maybe.
Okay.
Rihanna is up there. FKA Twigs.
Okay, so maybe you have been going through it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this has been my, like, Drake, Lil Wayne, J. Cole. Like, I've been very much, like, in there. I'm like, I need the motivation. Yeah. Last year it was very, like, Amy Winehouse and stuff like that, for sure. But
I've also been listening to a lot of female rappers, like Mona Leo. I don't know if you know her. Incredible. Like, I just love the female rage that is coming. Because I used to tap into anger by listening to men, like 21 Savage or Lil Wayne or whatever, and that was how I expressed anger. But it's so nice to be able to have these, like, female representatives where I'm like, no, this is more representative of how I feel, and it's nice that I can have that outlet.
I completely agree. I found myself going through my album at one point, or not my album, but my playlist, and I was like, okay, wow, I don't think I have one female on my playlist right now, and I had to go through, like, a whole thing, which is why the whole bottom of my playlist is like woman, regardless whether it's like a rap or a singer, because I felt the same way where I was tapping into like rage or like hype, even just like my hypeness, like as like a man, like being able to get me into that, which a man can get me into that, no, but I mean, like a woman is like a whole nother thing, like Cardi B, like you know what I mean, like Megan Thee Stallion, like it's a whole nother like hype.
Yeah, I saw Megan and Glorilla when they came to the Forum.
Did you? How was that?
It was wild. It was so good. But just the energy there was so nice. Like, all the girls were in little, like, mini skirts and, like, rhinestone cowgirl hats.
It was, like, a safe place.
Yeah, like, the only dudes that were there were, like, boyfriends or the gays. And, like, they were so nice. Everybody was complimenting each other in the bathroom. Like, it was just, like, positive girl energy.
See, I love that.
Yeah, and they both were so good. And, like, you could tell that, like, they're friends. Like, it was just so cute seeing them interact. And then to see Glow in her city and to have Megan be like, look, this is your city. Like, you made it. Like, let's take a second, you know? And, like, gave her her flowers.
Really
like,
sweet.
Yeah, it was really cool to
really, I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's really
and then
awesome.
the show ended, like, tight 11 o'clock. Like, we were out.
Really?
They started at 8 o'clock on the dot.
That's
dude.
really impressive.
Like, we got to our seats like 10 after, and Glow was already performing, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that barely ever happens. I feel like I go to basketball games, and they're still 30 minutes behind.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, these girls know how to do it.
Yeah.
So.
I'm impressed.
What's a fun fact about you that people wouldn't know?
Good question. Like, what is a fun fact? Do I have any fun? I can stand on my toes.
You can stand on your toes?
I can stand on my toes.
What do you mean? Yeah, I want to see. Well, is it gonna hurt with the sauce?
Like, I can make them all pop. I'm so sorry. Like, that's I'll do it in public too, because I have like a problem popping my toes, and I was like filming for this. I was filming for this short, and they were like, "Why do you keep doing that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I was a ballerina."
Did you do ballet?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, I used to do ballet. We would do like point shoes, but I wasn't doing that.
Yeah, I should have worn the pop. I'm so sorry.
No,
like, I can pop all my toes. Yeah, I'm like an excellent toe popper for sure. Like my friends make. Like this is more of like a strange fact than a fun one, but
I'm having fun.
Okay, as long as you're having fun, then we're having fun.
Okay, so where can people find your music?
Right now, Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes, and I do have a SoundCloud, but I don't know the email to it anymore. So.
And the name of your single?
It's N-I-N-N. So I actually had my videographer friend and I sat down and we were like really discussing my album name because I wanted it to talk about how like I want people to come visit like my diary, but I don't want them to stay. You know what I mean? So like I was like the innards, and he was like, that sounds like a horror movie. And true. And he was like, why don't you do it like a hotel kind of vibe? You know what I mean? Like people can come visit and they don't have to stay. And so we did I-N-N, so like N, so you're welcome in, but you know, like, and you don't have to stay, you can come back though.
That's cool. I love that you have someone helping you with your direction.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by creatives, like every single person in my circle, whether they do nails, hair, music, video, they all create, and I love being surrounded by people like that. Yeah. And so I think they've all inspired me, if not discussed with me, like a lot of like creative direction. And even him, he like sent me like a 10-minute voice memo after I dropped my first single, being like, I love the direction you're going in. Here's some more directions I would love to see you go in, and like stuff like that. Just being super supportive. He took time out of his busy schedule because I know he's got an insane schedule and did that. And I feel like I'm just like, again, I'm just surrounded by so many creatives that I take inspiration from, and they truly do like want to see me like shine. And I love that. What's
some advice that you would give to somebody just starting out in their music career, like you?
Confidence. Confidence is key. Believe in yourself. Even if you don't have a tight circle, you know, belief in yourself will get you 100% of the way. You know what I mean? Like, start with your city. I think that's like the biggest thing. You know, create a community. Even if you don't have one, create one. Promo. Talk about yourself. I know it's hard. I know a lot of people, we live in a very individualist, like society, and like some people don't want to be a part of that, and that's fair, but like we do live in the age of media and people don't know who you are. So talk about yourself all the time. Advertise yourself. You are somebody worth listening to, and that's like important to know. Like, regardless of how special you feel, you are special. We all are. And so like somebody out there needs the art that you're creating. So just keep pushing, because you will inspire people. You will create things that other people will listen to or love. And even if you don't know it, you know that you're creating something that you listen to and you love. And then so just keep pushing that out. I feel like that's so important. You know what I mean? Just believe in yourself. You're 100% the person that you think that you are. And so, yeah.
That is a great answer. I'm like, you keep inspiring me. I'm like, oh my God.
I actually heard somebody say something the other day, and they were like, and it really touched me. And I feel like that's one of the reasons I'm so like this right now, is she was like, you keep trying to take yourself out of the art, and the art is not art if it's not you in it. And so me telling you that I've gone back in the studio and been like, we got to start this over, it's because I hear myself in it. Yeah. And I'll be like, that's not real. Like, that's not what it sounds like on the radio. But like, they're creating art that does sound like it goes on the radio, but I hear myself and I want to take it out. So I feel like I've been there. And like, as somebody that's starting out, like, you do have to be confident in your work and who you are and what you're creating, because you are the art. You can't take you out of the art, then there is nothing. So that like really inspired me.
That actually, yeah, that really inspired me too. I've been thinking about that for the rest
well,
of
even just to go to what you're creating, me and Esmod and AP and Rico have all talked about, like, Memphis has needed people like you, like, in what you're doing and stuff like that. And we're just so happy to have you in this city. No, seriously, like, for real, like I saw you when you first started out and like the direction you've gone in, how much you've grown and stuff like that. I know it's hard, and I love to see the consistency and like what you're doing. And I think Memphis artists need somebody that's and like, you know, for real, we need a hype beast. We need a cheerleader. Memphis does not have a cheerleader, and we need that. So especially for like the positive part, I feel like we're manifesting so much negativity for the city because all we talk about is like all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And we need somebody being like, well, here's all the great people that come out of this terrible city that y'all are talking about. And I feel like that manifests so much positivity, and that's exactly what the city needs.
Yeah, it's really been so fulfilling, but also I get to meet cool people like you, and like it gives me so much hope for the city. I think, like you said, it's very easy to harp on the negatives that happen here and the lack of resources or this and that, but like there are so many cool, talented people in the city, and there's a huge community for people like you, like me, that like, you know, are focused on a positive creative outlet. And so for me, it's just been so cool that, first of all, that people are receptive towards it, because I didn't know. I was like, if I ask people to interview them and like talk about their music, are they gonna think I'm so lame? But
I keep doing it.
There's so many times, I mean, I went to school for fashion merchandising and I do marketing, and I'm so shy, and I know how hard it is to put yourself out there, but I've just been like media trained at this point where I'm like, I have to do it. But there's so many people who are like, me, like, you want me to interview, or like, who am I to talk about myself?
When you reached out to me, I was like, really? Okay. I like texted all my friends. I was like, got an interview, y'all. Like, because it is like the first step. You're the first step in a lot of people's career. You know what I mean? Like, and I hope for you to like grow even bigger to where people are like, wow, like she reached out to me. You know what I mean? Like how they already feel now, but like even bigger. You know?
I feel the same about y'all. Like anytime an artist agrees to work with me, I'm like, oh my god, they're coming to my house and like interviewing with me. Like, because I really just like learning about. Like, this is such a fun conversation on top of it being an interview, you know? Like, it's nice to be able to know people in this community, know that you, like, we have the same values, the same drive, and, like, it's inspiring. Like, even if we don't see each other again for months, just knowing that you are in the city and, like, we support each other, that means everything. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. It's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Yeah, this is so fun.
This has been a lot of fun. I love, like you said, I like to be around other people that are just same values as me, and we could talk openly about music and our love for the city and just like moving forward and like the positivity of like.
Yeah, I think sometimes as a creator and someone that's working towards your goals can be really isolating, right? Because you're spending so much time on this thing and you're not hanging out with your friends as much, or you're not doing all of these other things, and sometimes it's hard being like, is it worth it? Or like, am I doing the right thing? And yeah, it's nice having other people that know what you're going through, that have also put in that time and effort and like, encourage you, you know?
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with your busy schedule. The album comes out November 15th.
November 15th, y'all.
We're so excited. I can't wait to see what all you have in store. Like, I'm really looking forward to it.
Same
I think
with
you have a lot
band.
going on. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching. What is your handle?
I'm lil.bit.e on IG, TikTok, and then I'm just Elaina on all other platforms. So ELAINA.